Hi, I'm Anna, and welcome back to the D1 Audible cheat sheets. If temperature and sunlight set the pace of ripening, water often decides whether the vine can keep going at all. The vine needs water for almost everything it does. Water maintains cell turgidity so the vine doesn't wilt. It allows photosynthesis to function. It helps regulate vine temperature, and it acts as the solvent that carries nutrients from the soil into the plant. All of the vine's physiological and biochemical processes depend on it. Too little water and the vine shuts down. Too much water and the vine loses focus. Water enters the story through transpiration. Water vapor escapes through stomata on the underside of leaves, pulling water up from the soil through the roots and into the vine. When water is readily available, stomata remain open and photosynthesis can run freely. When water becomes scarce, stomata close to conserve moisture. That protects the vine in the short term, but it also limits carbon dioxide intake and slows or stops photosynthesis, reducing growth and ripening. In spring, adequate water supports shoot and leaf growth, helping establish the canopy needed for flowering and fruit set. But if water remains plentiful into early summer, vegetative growth can dominate. Shoots and leaves compete with the developing grapes for sugars, delaying ripening and increasing shading within the canopy. This is why mild water stress before veraison is often considered beneficial. It slows shoot growth, improves canopy balance, and encourages the vine to direct resources towards the fruit rather than continued vegetative expansion. After veraison, extremes again become problematic. Too much water late in the season can dilute sugars, cause berry splitting, and increase disease pressure. Too little water can trigger early grape shrivel and prevent grapes from reaching the desired balance of sugar, acidity, tannins, and aromas. Water availability also influences temperature indirectly. Damp soils warm slowly in spring and can delay bud burst. Warm, well drained soils warm faster and encourage early root growth, helping vines access water and nutrients more efficiently. Rainfall patterns matter just as much as total rainfall. Rain at flowering can disrupt pollination and reduce fruit set. Rain near harvest increases disease risk and can force early picking. Regions with regular rainfall often struggle more with fungal diseases, while very dry regions face persistent water stress unless irrigation is available. Topography shapes rainfall too. Mountain ranges can force moist air upward, causing rain on one side and creating dry rain shadow regions on the other. Washington state is a classic example with wet conditions west of the Cascades and dry conditions to the east. Soils then determine how much of that rainfall the can actually use. Soil doesn't flavor wine directly, but it strongly influences vine growth by controlling water availability, root penetration, and nutrient supply. Texture matters first. Clay soils hold water and nutrients well, but can become waterlogged. Sandy soils drain freely and warm quickly, but retain little water or nutrition. Loams sit somewhere in between. Gravel and stones improve drainage and can store heat, releasing it slowly at night. Structure matters too. Well aggregated soils allow roots to penetrate easily and access water and nutrients. Compacted soils restrict root growth and limit the vine's ability to cope with stress. Depth matters as well. Deep soils allow roots to explore a larger volume, buffering vines against drought. Shallow soils restrict root systems and can lead to earlier stress. sometimes beneficial, sometimes not. Organic matter in the form of humus improves both water and nutrient retention and supports soil life. Healthy soils tend to be biologically active soils. Nutrients complete the picture. Vines need surprisingly small amounts of nutrients, but balance matters. Nitrogen has the greatest influence. Too much nitrogen promotes excessive vigor, shading fruit and delaying ripening. Too little reduces photosynthesis and weakens vine growth. Moderately restricted nitrogen supply is often associated with higher quality fruit. Potassium affects water regulation and grape chemistry. Excess potassium can raise grape and wine pH, which can be problematic for wine stability and freshness. Phosphorus supports photosynthesis and root development, while magnesium plays a central role in chlorophyll formation. Nutrient availability depends on soil water, soil texture, organic matter, and soil pH. Some nutrients become unavailable at high or low pH levels, which is why soil chemistry matters even when nutrients are present. Zooming out, all of these factors combine to form a region's climate. Climate describes long term patterns of temperature, sunlight, rainfall, humidity, and wind averaged over decades. It doesn't change year to year, but it sets expectations about what grape varieties can be grown and what styles of wine are possible. Various climate classification systems help compare regions. Growing degree days, the Hughlin index, mean temperature of the warmest month, and growing season temperature all use temperature data to decrease climatic suitability, to describe climatic suitability with slightly different emphasis. Alongside these models, broader descriptors such as maritime, Mediterranean, and continental climates are used. Maritime climates have small seasonal temperature differences and regular rainfall. Mediterranean climates have dry summers and wet winters. Continental climates show greater extremes with short summers and cold winters. These patterns influence not just ripening but risk, frost, drought, disease, and vintage variability. Weather sits on top of climate. Weather is what actually happens in a given year. It's why one vintage can be outstanding and the next deeply challenging, even in the same vineyard. Weather affects yield, ripeness, wine style, and commercial outcomes, and it's a major driver of vintage variation. Finally, climate change. Rising temperatures are already accelerating the vine cycle. Bud burst happens earlier, sugar accumulates faster, acidity falls more quickly. Aroma and tannin development does not speed up at the same rate. The result is a growing imbalance. Grapes reach high sugar levels before flavor and tannin ripeness is ideal. Alcohol rises, acidity falls, and pH increases. Water stress becomes more frequent. Extreme events, heat waves, droughts, storms, frosts become more disruptive. Some regions may become unsuitable for their traditional grape varieties. Others previously too cool may gain new opportunities. Adaptation is already underway through site selection, planting material choices, vineyard management, and sustainability practices. But again, there are limits. The growing environment sets the frame, human decisions operate within it. And with that, we completed chapter 3 in the textbook. I hope this has helped, and I'll see you at the next episode on hazards.